What up? This is going to be a how-to video on how to actually change out the spring wire in a Bachmann EZ track switch to make it work a little bit better. The spring wire that comes in there is roughly about 13 thousandths, and you need something that's 20 thousandths or more to add more pressure basically. And this is going to be my little how-to on how I've done it. I mentioned it in another video I have, but I never showed. I don't think I showed directly how I changed it out. All right, you're gonna need a pin vise, or what I know as a pin vise, a 3/32 drill bit, something that small. This one's actually a little bit bigger because my 3/32 broke. I like to use hemostats. I use them to pull out the spring wire that's in there, and kind of to help hold the spring wire that I'm putting in. Super glue, screwdriver to open up the cover, and this is 0.5 millimeter spring wire that I found on Amazon. 0.5 millimeter is roughly 20 thousandths, I think it is, or it's close enough. I would have liked a little bit thicker for a little bit more tension in the spring, but this was available. I ordered it. It came on wrapped in a wood block, like a 1x1 wood block, and I have a bunch left over, so I'll be using this forever. But that's what you need to be able to do this. Alright, for the switch, you got this cover, and you want to remove it. So all these screws, I'm gonna do that and come back. Actually, before I do that, I always like to set my switch to the open position, or the open position, not thrown, for the whatever you consider the main on the switch. And then I'll go over that why when I open this. Alright, this is the inside. If you need to, take a picture of how it's set up. This gear here has a little tab or whatever that sticks up and holds that. I like to make sure it's kind of perpendicular this way, centered. That's why I was saying bring the switch all the way to this position. This piece here is what you're going to change out the spring wire. Mine is already done on this switch. So basically, you're going to take your pliers or whatever, pull out the wire that's in there. You need to measure the wire that you pull out and cut you a length of this wire to then replace. Now, depending on how they put it in there, and I know this is kind of hard to see. Let me see if I can get it to focus. You're going to drill out this pocket where that spring wire sits, and you can kind of see it goes through in there somewhat. There it is. There's the light. You can see it going through all the way to the back. So I drilled it out with a pin vise. My drill and my pin vise is a little bit big, but I made sure I put super glue on that. So I put super glue on the wire, put it in here, and then normally I set it down on like the table or whatever for the glue to dry. And while it's doing that, I make sure that the spring wire is straight, not crooked and such. Once it's had a time to set up and glue, or for the glue to dry, then I'll take it and put it back in the switch. Alright, you're going to put this back in. It goes one way, if you can kind of see that, because you got this pin here that it pivots on, where it catches the pin on the gear. It's not to actually move it, and you can see the spring wire is pressing this way. Let me see if I can work that, and you'll see it moves it over. Of course, I got it upside down and it's not wanting to work the right way. Like I said, take you a picture of this on the internals before you move anything, so you know where it goes. And then this is all the way back or set to closed. This gear, you can see if it'll focus. There's a post on it, because I was messing with it. Mine moved, and I want to put this post this way, like that, before I put it back together, since I was fooling with it. There. And then you'll just put your cover on. Make sure everything stays seated when you put your cover on. And that's pretty much it for changing out the spring wire in this. I think the hardest part is going to be finding the wire. It's hit or miss on Amazon. Again, it's 0.5 millimeter, or yeah, 0.5 millimeter in diameter on Amazon, which is somewhere around 20 thousandths of an inch. If you can find a little bit bigger, I'd go with that. What I found to do this was 21 thousandths. If you have access to spring wire, I guess you could kind of experiment and see what works better. But I got this. This helped a lot with all my derailments. Let me put the cover on and I'll kind of talk about that a little bit. Alright, so what you're doing is increasing the resistance of this. So the spring wire that comes with it, trains could force this, and if one does it, then more than likely that truck will go the way it forced, and then it'll spring back, and the next truck will go the other way, and you get a derailment. Some people have tried to do where they filed the points or made the pockets and all. I looked at that, and I didn't think it would work real well, and I didn't want to mess these up because they're like 40 bucks a piece, you know. So I did this, and it's made a huge difference in being able, or not having derailments on the train. I know some people have tried to file in the points. That's up to you and what tools you have, and if you have that skill. I didn't think I did, so I didn't try it, because that may there's that thickness right there on the points where it it's not sitting in like a better turnout, but this works for my needs. Other thing is placement. Since we don't have curved turnouts, that's, you know, a downside of EZ Track is there's no number 4, 5s, or 6 curved turnouts. They have that one turnout that curves, but it sucks. It doesn't work for modern stuff very well. So with that, you have to make sure you have placement. I don't like to start a curve right next to a switch if I can avoid it, just because there's that pressure on the wheels on the train coming around. Coming this way, no problem. Going this way, a truck could catch this and open it, and then you're going to get a derailment. But changing out the spring wire greatly reduces that. So that's pretty much my how-to video on how to change this out. Let me know if you have any questions. Again, it's 0.5 millimeter spring wire. I found mine on Amazon. Or if you can, roughly at least 20 thousandths of an inch in diameter spring wire, preferably 21 or higher. So, but anyway, if you have any questions or whatever, let me know in the comments. And if you wouldn't mind, like and subscribe. Later.